Question. DS. Tom and John decide to go on a picnic. If Tom travels d1 miles at a constant rate of v1 miles per hour, and John travels d2 miles at a constant rate of v2 miles per hour, who will reach the picnic site faster? Condition 1. d1 is 50 more than d2. Condition 2. v1 is 50 more than v2. Solution. Now we will solve this DS question using the variable approach. DS, more than 4 variables, question. Condition 1, one equation. Condition 2, one equation. DS question with more than 4 variables. Let the original condition in a DS question contain more than 4 variables. Now the variables would generally require more than 4 equations to solve for the value of variables. We know that each condition would usually give us an equation, resulting in a total of 2 equations, one each from condition 1 and condition 2. However, since we need more than 4 equations to match the numbers of variables and equations in the original condition, the unequal number of equations and variables should logically give us an answer E. Let's apply the 3 steps suggested previously. Follow the first step of the variable approach by modifying and rechecking the original condition and the question. We have to find who will reach the picnic site faster if Tom travels d1 miles at a constant rate of v1 miles per hour, mph, and John travels d2 miles at a constant rate of v2 miles per hour. The time Tom will take is t1 equals d1 over v1 hours, and John will take t2 equals d2 over v2 hours. We have to find which time either t1 or t2 is shorter. Follow the second and the third step. From the original condition, we have 6 variables: t1, v1, d1, t2, v2, and d2, and 2 equations. v1 times t1 equals d1, and v2 times t2 equals d2. To match the number of variables with the number of equations, we need 4 more equations. Since conditions 1 and 2 will provide 1 equation each, E would most likely be the answer. No one likes to see physics questions on a math exam. However, remember the variable approach will protect you. Recall 3 principles and choose E as the most likely answer. Let's take a look at both conditions together. Condition 1 tells us that D1 is 50 more than D2. That is, D1 equals D2 plus 50. Condition 2 tells us that V1 is 50 more than V2. That is, V1 equals V2 plus 50. Dividing con 2 by con 1, we get putting these equations together gives us D1 over V1 equals D2 plus 50 whole over V2 plus 50. We have to find whether D1 over V1 equals D2 plus 50 whole over V2 plus 50 is greater than D2 over V2. If we cross-multiply, we have to find out whether V2 times whole of D2 plus 50 is greater than D2 times whole of V2 plus 50. If we distribute through the brackets, we have to find out whether V2 times D2 plus 50 times V2 is greater than D2 times V2 plus 50 times D2. The term D2 times V2 is the same in both equations, so they cancel each other out, leaving us with determining whether 50 times V2 is greater than 50 times D2, which further simplifies the determining whether V2 is greater than D2. We still cannot determine exactly whether V2 is greater than D2, so conditions 1 and 2 combined are not sufficient. If there are two people in the question and the question is asking who will reach the destination first, the most likely answer is E, because there are so many variables. Remember this, so if you see it on the actual exam, you will immediately know what to do. Both conditions 1 and 2 together are not sufficient, so E is the correct answer. When there are more than 4 variables in the question, it is most likely that E would be the answer. Therefore, always check both the conditions together to save time. Answer: E.